Hi, this is Craig Nash. I'd like to welcome you to another It's a Grand Life. Thank you so much for joining us today. The last episode, we started talking about some of the considerations that you need to make regarding getting legal counsel for your situation if you're considering becoming a guardian or adopting your granddaughter or grandson. And we just want to highlight a couple of those other issues, which are maybe they don't seem important, but they're absolutely vital if you want to provide a safe and stable relationship for the granddaughter or grandson you love. And I mean, one of the things we started to wrestle with, because when you have a daughter or a son who is involved in substance abuse or behavioral health issues, they're challenged thinking of their own healthcare issues, let alone the healthcare issues or immunizations or vaccinations for their child. So that became a big deal for Yaya and myself. And so we wanted to make sure that Grace got all the appropriate healthcare that she needed. Obviously, the school has a lot of criteria that they want you to make sure that the kids in school have had the right immunizations and vaccinations. So there were some other tests that my wife wanted to make sure that that Grace received, and we weren't able to order any of those things because we weren't legally involved in the legally responsible for the care of Grace. So when the guardianship was finalized, we were able to make sure all the healthcare issues, all of the vaccinations, and all the immunizations were handled. But a very important thing for a little girl was starting orthodontics or braces. My Grace was starting to develop an overbite, and a couple of the kind classmates she had were starting to comment on her buck teeth. And when you're in a situation where one or both of your parents are not anywhere to be found, there's a lot of insecurity with a young child, and especially a young girl. So we wanted to get the orthodontics handled as soon as possible, and we started that this year, and the change has been miraculous. The other than the color of the bands, it's pretty much a non-issue, and so we're very thankful for that. And another thing that's real important to us, and as people of faith, was to try and make sure that that our granddaughter was introduced to our core values and our faith at a young age, and so there was a lot of inconsistent church involvement, and that's we just believe that faith is pretty critical for any type of life, let alone a grand life. And but for Grace, her safety was the main issue. She has an incredible network of family and friends that support her, and she is voiced on. What's really interesting with these little ones, they will tell you what's lacking in their life if you just sit down and listen to them. Right, Grandma? You're hearing me on this. There was one time that our dear Grace was driving around with her uncle, and her uncle has been absolute blessing and a half. And what we're finding in our situation, that a lot of family members and friends are just more than willing to donate their time to assist us, because we're not 30 anymore, and I know that's a revelation for those of you at home, but so there's not the same amount of energy in the tank that there was 30 years ago. But one time our Grace was driving around with her uncle, and there was a discussion on, Grace, what do you really want? And what are you looking for in your life? And how can Yaya and Papa help you? Or what can Uncle Jim do to make your life a little easier? And she just spoke right from her heart and said, I just want to be safe. I want to be safe. In fact, she said, Uncle Jimmy, I want to go home. So they were in the car and drove home. And by the grace of God, I know what you want to provide, and what we are providing is a safe environment for our granddaughter or grandson. And as our dear friend, who hopefully will be a guest on our podcast in the next couple of weeks, Millie Dreisbach from our old church, who just very wisely gave us the counsel that you can only save one. You've done everything in your life to set your child up for success. They've taken a different path, but your granddaughter or grandson, they had no choice in the matter. So this was a very painful lesson for us, something we had to come to grips with, because I think my wife and I do have a PhD in enabling, and this is the last thing we wanted to go down this road. But I thank the Lord that we did, because our granddaughter Grace has a stable, Lord willing, and healthy and as normal as possible environment for her to begin to thrive. And the friends that see her on a regular basis, especially the folks in our small group, the folks that we see socially or at church, they've noticed, boy, she is really starting to thrive. And I don't know where you live or what is around you, where you live, but I want to just encourage you, if you're not in a church, if you're not in a small group, you don't have to come to my church, but you need to be in a church, and you need to have a group of friends. I wish we could take our Grand Life group and just take it with you wherever you are, and just let you know that we're here virtually to encourage you. We're here to be your virtual small group of friends, to pray for you and be concerned about you. But man, there's nothing like getting together with a group of folks that really love you and care about you. I don't know what I'd do without my small group, but I'm just want to encourage you in that regard. So the great thing is when you get the legal counsel that you need, you can make the health decisions, you can make the legal decisions, you can deal with orthodontics. The faith decisions are so important. You can address the issues of safety, and a lawyer can inform you of what all your options and all your decisions that can help you make the right decisions. But getting not only the legal counsel, but having a support group behind you is absolutely so vital to having a successful living situation. So just want to thank you so much for joining us today on It's a Grand Life, and hope you'll listen to our past podcasts if you missed them. And I can't wait for you to join us in the future. We've got some amazing guests that are going to come out and share their story and their expertise with you. And I just know it's going to be a blessing. So look forward to seeing you next time on It's a Grand Life. God bless you. Remember to never waste your pain. Your story can help others. That's the whole point of It's a Grand Life. Please reach out to me. I can be a blessing to you and pray for you, or help you connect to free resources that can make your journey a little easier. God can use your situation to bless others, even halfway around the world. Together, we have hope. And as my own grandma used to say, and she was always quoting biblical promises to me, but this one from Isaiah 26:3, He will keep him or her in perfect peace, whose mind is fixed on Him, because he trusts in Him. Please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. I look forward to talking to you again real soon, but remember, with God's help, it's a grand life.